Greetings. I am Dorian Swinger, here to share my conceptual framework for my dissertation proposal, Perspectives of Using Multimedia and Social Studies for Student Engagement in Marginalized Youth. For my introduction, I came from a focus of thinking about marginalized youth and how they're currently facing an academic crisis, focusing on them, why they're not finishing school, why they're dropping out. And this is because of disinterest and disengagement. This can also create a perpetual cycle of marginalized people remaining impoverished. I come from a critical theory lens and looking at dropping out as an injustice to marginalized youth. This study aims to tackle in a focus of how we can get students engaged and keeping them in school. For my problem statement, I came from me being a social studies instructor. I see many students who are marginalized that are disengaged in social studies content, and specifically history and civics. Usually they're talking about how the topic is not relevant to their lives, how they can't use it in the real world, or it's just not fun. It's kind of boring. Disengagement can lead to a lack of academic achievement and interest, and that's reported through research. We look at test scores across the district, especially in the social studies content area, and they're very, very low. And I think an indicator could be disengagement. The tool of engagement that we want to focus on in this study is the use of multimedia to see if there is a perceptual change in engagement when using multimedia. This graphic here shows the demographics at a proposed research site and how majority of the students are marginalized youth. Looking at the framework of study, coming from a point of being always working with marginalized youth, I've seen the lack of engagement in social studies classes. I've seen how when students are outside in their social environment, they use multimedia, they use film, they use songs to connect and engage with each other. So trying to come from that background to see if we can use that and see if it works in terms of lessons in school. Worldview, coming from a subjective worldview, would be using a qualitative study, and it would be a case study, more specifically a design-based research case study, using observations, surveys, and student reflections. A design-based research case study is a qualitative method that implements repetitive designs to develop knowledge that improves educational practices. In this design, we will be using multimedia in social studies and uh, and seeing how multimedia-rich classrooms differ from traditional settings and traditional classrooms. So we'll switch on and off between multimedia-rich class lessons versus traditional lessons. The participants will be both students and teachers at the research site at the school, which include three eighth grade social studies teachers, including myself, as well as the students that we teach. Our data trustworthiness has four components: credibility, transferability, dependability, and confirmability. And using our observations, our reflections, and surveys will meet these four components. In conclusion, my position converges with my research inquiry because of my similar experiences to whom I'm studying. In the study, I will note my biases, if any may surface. I want to ensure my interpretations are not mistaken as theirs. When given perspectives, the study could influence theory, policy, and instruction. Schools can ensure planning that makes engagement a priority in their lessons. More importantly, the participants, the students, and the school communities could benefit the participants by having enjoyable classes, them being engaged, and overarchingly staying in school and being interested in school. And these are sources for the research. And this concludes a snapshot of my conceptual framework for my dissertation.